Alright, so you're going to get a square sheet of paper, and what you want to do is you want to create a design on this sheet of paper that can be used as your positive space, something we're going to focus on. So this can be anything you want, really. I'm going to do, I think, like a stem with leaves on it. You can do a person, you can do an animal, you can do a different type of shape, you can do a simple shape such as a heart. You could do a microphone if you want to be a singer, anything that kind of comes to your mind, but the goal is we want to keep it as simple as possible. We're just going to be focusing on the outlines only. Okay, so I'm going to be making like a leaf shape, and I'm going to draw it on here the way that I think I'm going to want it on my print. Okay. And you want to draw something that you can easily cut out. And it's okay if you get off your paper a little bit. Okay, so something like that. And now I'm just going to cut this out. Alright, so here is my shape. I can recycle scraps. And we need to keep this safe, so I would put your initials on it somewhere, just so we know that it's yours and maybe your code. Alright, so we are going to do some printmaking today. Right here I have a printmaking plate. It's called a Gelli Plate. I have printmaking ink. I have a scrap sheet of paper. You can tell it's really light. And my stencil, and then I have some items here that I'm going to use to create interesting designs onto the print. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze some of the ink right onto the plate, and you kind of want to just put it not too much, not too little. Remember, you can always add more. So start with what you think is good and then go from there. And this, I'm using a brayer, and I'm rubbing the ink all over my plate. And you want to cover the whole plate the best that you can. Now, if there's going to be some areas that are kind of being difficult for you, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Alright, so now I'm going to take, these are paper doilies, and I'm going to lay them onto my plate. And then I'm going to take my sheet of paper and I am going to print on it. So I rub all around. And here you have your first print. So now automatically I'm showing positive and negative space here just with these doilies. Right, and then I'm going to take my scrap paper. This is going to be called our ghost print, and ghost prints sometimes end up looking even cooler than the actual print. So I lay it on there, I rub. Peel it up, and the purpose of a ghost print is to get some of the ink off of your plate, which it did. Cool, okay. So I'm just going to keep these to the side. And now I'm going to choose a different color. Okay, for this one I'm going to take bubble wrap. I'm going to lay the bubble wrap onto the plate. press so hard that you pop the bubbles. Peel it up, and then I need to do this bottom part as well, so I'll just lay it down there. Okay. Now I'm going to take my print again. This is my actual print. I'm going to lay it on top. Rub. Okay, so here is my print now. You can see the bubble wrap, and the blue has filled in where the white was to start with. Now I take my ghost print to clean up the ink, so this way I don't have to bring the plate to the sink every time. And you can tell your ghost print is starting to look a bit interesting. That's why I love ghost prints. Alright, now I'm going to pick one final color. And now I'm getting my stencil, and I'm going to lay it okay. Now I take my print, peel it up, and I'm going to take off my stencil. And here I've created a very interesting piece, and you can tell I've used positive and negative space. We blocked out our positive space here with the stencil to create the design on that final print, and our negative space is quite interesting with the 3 layers of printing underneath. Okay, so my stencil is off. I want my stencil off to run my ghost print. Alright, so here's my ghost print. You can tell we can't really see much with this one, but even so, it's still kind of a really pretty design. Alright. Okay, so here I'm doing a second print, second run. I'm using the same 3 colors that I used the first time, but I'm going to do it in a different order with a little different technique. But the thing that's going to make the 2 cohesive is the fact that I'm using the same 3 colors. So the last time I started with yellow, I'm going to start with yellow again just because yellow is a tricky color. Yellow is so light that I don't know if it'll be able to layer on top of the darker colors. So I'm going to do yellow. And again, I'm just going to use these stencils to work with for my first one. So this is very similar to my first print. Alright, what you can tell here is my colors kind of mixed together, so it's not as bright as a yellow. That's fine. I think that looks interesting. Now I need my ghost paper. Okay. So now on the first print I went with blue as my next color. So for this one I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go magenta as my next color. I'm going to be using corrugated cardboard. So that's the cardboard where you can see like the lines. It's kind of thin. So I'm going to just lay that on the plate. I'm going to do the same exact method. I'm going to rub it into the plate. Okay. So you should be left with an interesting design. Take your first print. Now take your ghost print, clean your plate. Oh, my last color, blue. Now take your stencil off and run your final ghost print. And we are done with our stencils, which is a good thing because mine just broke. Okay, this ghost print turned out a little better. I can actually see my shape a little bit. So right now you should have 2 actual prints, 2 ghost prints, and we are going to put all these together once we dry them all off. Alright, so now comes the fun job of cleaning up. We have a lot of stuff to clean up when we do this. First of all, we have to clean our hands because I guarantee you they are messy. If you had bubble wrap, you want to put that in the sink, you can actually wipe that off and we can reuse bubble wrap. This stuff, just let it dry on there. I'm sure we can reuse it once the ink is dried. And your brayers, you must clean all the way off. Make sure you get the corners, okay? Gelli plates, I will be in charge of Gelli plates. You will put them where I tell you to on the day of printing. And that's it. Okay, so my prints are dry, and I picked out a color that I think would look best with my prints, and I picked yellow. And you want to write your name on the back, your code, flip it over, and you are going to arrange your 4 prints, your ghost prints and your actual prints, in the way that you like it the best. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to kind of get them all ready and see what arrangement I like the best of them. So do you want these on the same side? I don't think I do. I think I want these kind of diagonal from each other. Maybe something like that. Okay? Then our job is to glue these down. And my rule when we glue is you want to make sure we can still see this paper on all 4 sides. So I'm just going to come in a little bit from the top and from the side. See, I can still see yellow up here, I can still see yellow over here. And I will glue that down. This one, notice how there's still yellow in between them, on the side and on the bottom. So each one kind of gets its own frame. It's preparing our artwork for presentation. We want it to look nice for people to see. Try to get these as even as possible. Okay, just like that. And then we set this on the drying rack to dry, and our printmaking positive and negative space is complete.